picked up a solid state amp today. You'd be shocked, Steve.
You know, I know solid state amps get a bad rap, but I mean, the technology, is it like an older one or is it a new one?
No, it's the Dark Glass Alpha Omega. It's a 900 watt fucking monster. I got it running through an Ampeg 810, and
I could see solid state being better for bass than guitar.
I think it's my first solid state amp in many years, and even before that I was using like Sun concerts and Sun betas and that kind of shit.
I read somewhere that a lot of jazz musicians prefer solid state because they're not as noisy.
I can see that. Unless you get a Sun one, those are noisy as fuck because they just get old and the capacitors start fucking buzzing out and shit.
Yeah, my Fender amp probably needs some work done on it because it's just making a lot of noise, so I got the orange out for the first time in a while.
Hell yeah.
And then the bass stick sounds way better through the orange anyway, so.
I told you I picked up a Rock Reverb 100 not long ago, and like our guitarist has like a whole bunch of other amps. He's always like, I could bring this over. I'm like, no, you're playing this and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, I've started the process of writing for my next album, so I've basically just been recording my ideas into GarageBand like I did the first time, and since I have so many weird guitars from Eastern Bloc countries, it's like I can write a different kind of song for each of them because they don't sound anything like American guitars, really. Like
Well, yeah, they're probably made from like completely different woods and even hardware and shit, I imagine.
And when if they copied anything, they would have copied like the Japanese guitars, like what are those called? Like the
Takashi factory ones?
Yeah, things like that, yeah. Like, I know Jack White likes to play stuff like that. Or, the guy from The Cure, Robert Smith, he had it was like a Woolsworth Top 20 guitar or something like that. And, like, I think it's got similar vibes to that, because he took a pickup out of it, and then he put it into his Jazzmaster to the horror of his producer, who made him go get a Jazzmaster, and then he just puts the cheap guitar pickup in it.
Nice.
But yeah, Dave, you've heard all of my weird Soviet guitars. They definitely all have a personality of their own.
Yes, my favorite is that hollow-bodied Musima.
Yeah,
I've never heard a hollow body that sounds exactly like it.
I played one of my demos is me playing clean with that thing, and it's, you know, both my Musimas, my Jazzmaster Musima is also great for like clean tones. So, and that makes sense. I mean, the Eastern Bloc weren't playing rock and roll yet, so of course it wouldn't be voiced for like distorted guitars, you know. And welcome to today's episode of Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve. I'm Steve.
I'm Dave.
And today we have a guest returning. We have Kyle Androy, bass player for Weaving Shadows. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing good, man. Feeling good. Just had a rehearsal. High as a kite. Gotta love it.
Hell yeah. You're coming back today after joining us for the Grand Theft Auto Vice City soundtrack, which was a lot of fun, and I think that one turned out really well.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if we mentioned it on the episode, but we talked about more things that we were going to review, and today we're going to be taking a look at an album that both me and Kyle love, and I don't think Dave knows anything about.
I don't know this artist, so.
Oh, awesome! You're in for a real treat.
So I will say, what do you know about the bands Sepultura and or Fudge Tunnel?
I know Sepultura. I've heard of Fudge Tunnel, but I couldn't tell you anything about them gun to my head. But Sepultura is at least kind of familiar to me.
Yeah, I'm actually not really familiar with Fudge Tunnel at all. They're like a English noise rock band.
Fudge Tunnel, yeah. They're very inspirational to a lot of the doom bands. Conan covers one of their songs, Hate Song. But yeah, Alex Newport, that was his main project, and they were really heavy.
Nice.
Yeah, something I never got around to checking out, but probably should sometime. I was reading the description, and based on the description, I think both you and me would like that band very much.
I do like noise.
Yeah, but for me, Sepultura and Max Cavalera in general has been a humongous influence on me. When I was doing harsh vocals in Megaton, the person I was trying to sound like the most was Max. Like, at one point, I was really trying to get the guys to cover Troops of Doom, and I don't know why, but nobody wanted to. But just when I remember when I was a security guard when I was like 20, I would just sit there and I would scream along to like Roots Bloody Roots to break in my heavy voice, and sometimes I'd be like, am I tasting blood? That's probably not good. But
that virgin throat right there.
Yeah. I'll say this about Max. He's one of the few, like, heavy vocalists that's still pretty good these days. Like, a lot of the guys his age, their voices are starting to wear down, but he sounds pretty much the same.
What's their new project that was just at Waiting Room last summer, I want to say?
I think that was the Cavalera.
It was him and his brother. Wasn't it? Yeah.
He re-recorded the first two Sepultura albums, you know, the really lo-fi, they recorded in Brazil ones that are technically probably not great, but, you know, considering they were a bunch of poor boys in Brazil, I think it's kind of impressive they got those out. But him and his brother...
I listen to black metal.
Yeah, seriously. Him and his brother... re-recorded the first two with like modern production, and I listened to them. They're really good. Usually I'm skeptical of re-recording projects, but those are two that I would check out. Today, though, we're going to be taking a look at the NAILBOMB Point Blank album. This is an album that's described as industrial metal or thrash metal. I think it leans more towards crossover thrash and just has like hints of industrial in it, more or less.
A lot of groove in it too.
Yeah. This one came out around the same time that Chaos AD came out, so it's got a very similar tone to that album, but the songwriting is like really punky, like very like short, efficient songs, I'll say, for the most part. So
there's like 10 tracks, right?
I want to say it was 13.
Damn.
And not including the bonus tracks, which we might check out, like the studio bonus tracks, but it's got a bunch of live tracks on it, and we might do the live album at some point, so we'll just skip those when we get to those. But yeah, today we'll be taking a look at Point Blank, and we'll have Dave describe the cover here.
That is an M16 pointed at an older Vietnamese woman's head, I think.
Yeah, this is from the Vietnam War.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a Vietnamese civilian. According to Max, they found out later that she was still alive, so...
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like, seriously good for her. There were a lot of people in photos like that who did not live afterwards.
Max said that he wanted to have the same vibe as the first Rage Against the Machine album, and I would say he succeeded at that.
Yeah, we have an upcoming EP episode about Struggle that this does give me similar vibes to and what they chose to do for a photo.
I was listening to it earlier to kind of gather my pre-thoughts on it, and it sounds like a better played, better produced Struggle, I think. So
yeah.
Yeah.
The kids in Struggle were like 15, so that makes sense.
And at this time, Max and I assume Alex Newport were at their heights. So
yeah. Well, and then like if you name your band after a war crime like a NAILBOMB, you're either making a point or you're just saying something violent and fucked up for fun. And using this for the cover, I'm guessing they're making a point.
Max, I think, is a very lefty guy. I hear he supports like a lot of underground lefty, like death metal, thrash metal bands. So
I can see that.
I would say he's making a point. And I mean, a lot of the lyrics on Chaos AD were like very pointed in a political direction, I'd say. I'd say he's making a point.
I also saw when I was looking it up that they have covered Police Truck by the Dead Kennedys, so...
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually on the CD towards the end. for the bonus tracks.
Cover makes you uncomfortable, right? And there's nothing more metal than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will read out something about the lady on the cover. I'm quoting from the Vandala magazine.com website article, A Brief History Lesson Within Nailbomb's Point Blank, an interview with Max Cavalera of Soulfly by Chad Thomas Carlston. Says, for those unfamiliar, can we dive into some back history of Point Blank and its controversial cover art, Did the Lady Survive? And Max said, the album came out in 1994. It's really a mix of styles, mostly metal and punk and industrial. It was our take on industrial music. At the time, we were listening to a lot of Nine Inch Nails, Ministry, Skinny Puppy, Young Gods, Frontline Assembly, Tragic Impulse, etc. It was our own version of it, me and Alex's version of industrial metal, and the way we see it. We had a lot of punk stuff on it because we were listening to a lot of punk, and a lot of metal because of me and Sepultura and Alex being from Fudge Tunnel. As far as the cover, he says, we just wanted a shocking picture. We loved the Rage Against the Machine album cover from the first record where the monk is on fire. We
Also from Vietnam.
Yeah. We told our label that we wanted to do something like that, and we used that as a reference idea, got in touch with the Alternative Associated Press, and they sent us a bunch of black and white pictures from a lot of war photos. One of the war pictures was the one of the lady with the gun pointed at her head. We thought it represented the music of the album because it's very aggressive, very warlike, but also black and white with a punk kind of feeling. We just wrote NAILBOMB with military letters. I think it's great, but it's really shocking and really brutal. But we found out later the lady in the picture never died. The soldier never shot her, which is one good thing about that picture. She never died right there.
She could be dead by now.
I
'Cause
would
it's been-
probably say
assume,
so.
yeah. She looks old in the 60s.
Yeah. Another fun fact about this album is they used the single "Wasting Away" for the Nicole Kidman film "To Die For." It was a scene where they were beating up a bunch of cars in a junkyard. Not familiar with that movie, but
I've never even heard of that.
yeah,
Hold on. You said To Die For?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a Gus Van Sant movie, and it is. Yeah, I've seen that movie. It's great.
Maybe that'll be a good one we could cover for the spin-off movie podcast we're talking about doing.
There's a David Cronenberg cameo in it. It's a
No shit.
very, very dark comedy. David Cronenberg plays like a mafia hitman.
Oh, nice. So yeah, I think that's all I got to say from this article. We'll go ahead and talk about the lineup. We've already mentioned that the main guys for this are Max Cavalera and Alex Newport. The additional personnel is Andreas Kisser, lead guitars on 2, 9, and 11. A Sepultura bandmate. Those two hate each other now. I suspect after the Sepultura farewell show happens, I'll bet you they're going to start getting a lot of money offers from like big festivals, and we might see some one-off like old Sepultura shows. That'd be pretty cool. But also, I wouldn't hold my breath on that either because those guys seem to really hate each other. But a lot of musicians really hate each other, and they get together and play.
The money's right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they just don't look at each other or talk to each other.
Yeah.
Or they end up punching each other like Jade's Addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw an article today that somebody asked Dave Navarro when they're going to be back, and he's like, "That's over." His brother Igor is on 1, 5, 7, 10, 12, and 13. And then Dino Cazares from Fear Factory is on track number 3. This was produced by Alex Newport and Max Cavalera, and they did all the songwriting, and it was mixed by Alex Newport as well. So these days, Alex is more of a studio guy. I don't think he really tours anymore. NAILBOMB is playing some shows soon, or have played some shows recently, but unfortunately he's not involved in that. But they said it was just a matter of him just not being interested in playing live music anymore, which I can relate to.
I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the first 7 tracks we'll listen to. an LP actually did come out for this album back when it was current in 1994, which is pretty cool. I don't have the LP. We'll be listening to a compact disc copy today, which I've had for a very long time. But
we'll see if it skips.
The first 7 songs we'll be looking at are Wasting Away, Valtoma no Ku, which is, in English, is Portuguese for Take It in the Ass.
All right.
24-Hour Bullshit, Gorillas, Blind and Lost, Some of Your Achievements, and Cockroaches.
Yes, cockroaches.
I think Dave's going to be particular to Gorillas if my sense about him is right, and it might not be because I've made some bad predictions in some past episodes.
We're back in the New York groove.
All right. Let's see. Anything else to mention? Came out on Roadrunner Records. Neat.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We'll go ahead and throw this on, and we'll see what Dave thinks about NAILBOMB.
So, like, no one's allowed to just have a stable life and job that just throw everyone under the bus so line goes up.
God, I hate, like, I love technology. I hate all the tech companies. Like,
Right.
They
Yeah.
just have this evil worldview.
Yeah.
And they treat all their workers like crap. Like, when I was briefly in a data center, I won't say which company it was.
I know.
But you can look it up by typing in a popular search engine.
But when I was working for a data center, they hire contractors and then they just squeeze them like lemonade. It feels like, and they make you perform like a whole song and dance to get like promoted to be like an actual employee at the company. And they don't really like train you. They just kind of throw you in there, and they don't see like people as people. So
Yeah, and then when you actually become an employee, you get to work 12 hours a day with your therapeutic beanbag chair that they issue you.
Yeah, so that's why I don't do that. But anyway, welcome back, everyone. That was side 1 of NAILBOMB Point Blank. Dave, we'll start with you for first impressions.
As a whole, it was good. I liked it. It was really intense, really heavy. I do like how sometimes, though, it would like slow down or have things drop out just so that you could follow stuff. I thought the drums, both when they were played live and when they were programmed, or when both were going on at the same time, had some really interesting things going, like some really interesting accents in some weird spots. Easy to follow, didn't wear out its welcome, because sometimes, like, if stuff has a little element of groove metal, sometimes it'll just kind of linger on it a little too long. This time it never did. Every song was either a little too short or the exact perfect length. Some of the a little too short, some of the fade outs seemed kind of abrupt and just kind of there. But other than that, it was solid side of music. I liked it. I dug it.
Nice. Kyle, I'll go ahead and let you give your thoughts before I give mine.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously heard this one before, but I love it. It's a product of its time, for sure. Like, what other kind of shit are you going to get? Something that sounds like, oh, this is clearly, like the Alex Newport song that clearly sounds like Fudge Tunnel, and then you got stuff in there that, like Dave said, sounds like Ministry or Godflesh and industrial kind of thing. And you don't really get that blend of genres, especially in heavy metal anymore. So I always had kind of a spot for this one, because he just in that first half, that was like 3 different friggin' genres.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and then like another way it sounded of its time, in my opinion, was like the sampling technology. It did not sound like the old analog tape sampler. It didn't sound as clean as like digital sampling does now. It was sitting in kind of that 90s spot, that nothing else sounds like, which I thought was good. Maybe people should do like retro 90s style sampling now at some point, because like listening to it, it's like, oh yeah, this is how sampling used to sound. Yeah.
Bring out your space echo. Come on, people.
Yeah, bring out the space echo. Bring out the old like Macintosh computers with Pro Tools, and yeah.
Hey, I could do that with my vintage computer collection.
I still remember your Commodore 64 on your setup. That was pretty great.
I got my Color Classic right behind me here.
Nice.
But yeah, like you said, Kyle, there were multiple different genres on this side. I think overall the most dominant sound was like the crossover thrash, like punky style. But there would just be moments of like industrial, like peppered in. And I thought they did a really good job of not overusing it, I think.
Yeah.
I know that's a criticism I got on one of my songs recently, is I might have overdone it, but...
Overdone it with the samples and effects?
I don't think I did, but...
I think when you
got
put
all those
yourself...
pedals and you don't even use them, man. Like, what the hell?
I think when you put yourself out there to strangers on the internet, sometimes you just get nitpicked. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't take it personally because, you know, I write music for myself, and I'm an ADHD person, and I have to imagine a non-ADHD person listening to my music. Like, one reviewer told me that it gave him anxiety, and I'm like, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I wanted people to feel when I wrote that song, but...
It's like, and like, if that gave people anxiety, it's like, good lord, could you listen to that Throbbing Gristle song where they just sampled a death threat they got on their answering machine because someone hated their music so much?
Well, I was gonna say, if he couldn't handle that, how would he feel about the Viagra Boys album that you brought in? Like that there was a lot going on in that one. Or same with the Lemon Demon album. There was a lot going on in that one too.
And there's a lot going on with this. So did you send it to was the guy you sent it to like a metal guy or just like a general?
I think he was more of a metal guy. The one I was initially talking about, because I got about 3 of them, and like I said, I don't take it personally, especially since I think I can improve the mix, and I will for the final album. So a lot of those reviews are actually very helpful. But but with this, I didn't feel like they overdid the industrial elements. Like a lot of times it'd be like, it's a crossover thrash, and then stop, industrial.
Yeah.
And I think it made it more interesting than it would have been otherwise if they just stuck with a straightforward crossover thrash sound.
Yeah, it felt adventurous, like they were trying new stuff, which gave it kind of a freshness, even if, yes, it did sound like 1996.
Yeah, it definitely sounded of its era, which is cool. I like it when you can kind of trace it down to a certain spot, like by picking out, like you said, like the way samples were back then, or specific guitar sounds. Like, I think the guitar tone sounds a lot like the guitar tone he used in Chaos AD. So
I can see that.
Yeah.
Very Machine Gun-esque.
Yeah. One thing I'll note is the singing between Alex Newport and Max Cavalera. I know back in the day I couldn't tell them apart. These days it's pretty obvious.
Oh, it was incredibly obvious. Yeah.
As you said, Max is better at enunciating, and Alex has more of a higher pitched, at least compared to Max anyway.
Sounds like he is more inspired by like the Melvins and shit like that, whereas like Max is like going for the thrashy kind of thing.
Yeah.
There are different vocal styles though, where I could tell them I thought Max was much better at enunciating, so like I could follow his lyrics a little better while they were going. Also, they sat better in the mix, but you know, like I both liked their approach. It was both good. This first listen to, I think I preferred Alex's.
NAILBOMB is clearly lost on you, Dave.
Yes. Oh yeah. If I say a preference for one of 2 vocalists, people get mad.
Well, Alex is from the UK, so he's got that little bit of an accent to his voice too.
Well, you know, it's also lore that when I say something, it's on record that if I predict something, the opposite will happen. So.
Yeah.
Although I did get what I thought would be what I thought might be your favorite is Gorillaz, although we hadn't finished by the time we ended that. Did that one end up being your favorite?
That one did end up being my favorite, and we'll get into why when we go track by track.
Okay. I was just curious, because I know, Kyle, you say Cockroaches is yours.
Yep.
And I think Gorillaz is probably also my favorite. But yeah, like I said, we'll get into that. Speaking of which, I think we can segue into that. The first song, "Wasting Away," that's the song that was in the movie that we mentioned earlier. This one had a brief industrial intro, but otherwise, I think it was a pretty straightforward crossover thrash song. Igor was on drums on this one, and there was a lot of double bass work. And I know, Dave, you're not usually a big fan of double bass, because a lot of times the drummers sound like they're playing a typewriter instead of bass drums. But I like Igor's double bass because it sounds like two cannons going off rather than...
It was well utilized in this, and then it wasn't overused throughout the whole...
He's not using triggers either.
Yeah. So I thought it was fine. Like, it was in a spot, and it wasn't just, like, constant throughout the whole side of music. So I thought it worked. And, like, the spots where it was being done, it worked. It would ease off when the song needed it to ease off. So yeah, it worked.
He is one of my favorite metal drummers, because I think in addition to being a fast drummer, he's also very good at incorporating different influences. Like in a lot of Sepultura albums, he's got this kind of like tribal influences.
He's kind of a jazz guy, isn't he? Yeah.
And in addition, I think he listens to a lot of electronic music, so I think that affects his groove. I think Mario told me one time he's one of his favorite drummers too, and I could see him influencing like Mario's playing, especially some of the stuff that he played in Megaton. So if he wasn't busy, I probably would have asked him to be fourth mic on this one, but alas.
He's hard to get a hold of, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Busy guy.
Do we have anything else to say about Wasting Away?
Solid opener with good preview of what was coming without it sounding exactly like every other song either. So it worked.
Okay, next one, Valtoma no Ku, which is Portuguese for "take it in the ass." Mm-hmm. But yeah, that one is hints of industrial during the intro and during, I think, like some bridge spots. But otherwise, again, just kind of a straightforward thrash song, more mid-paced than Wasting Away.
Yeah. My one minor quibble about it is it was a little low-end heavy, so it was a little muddier than Wasting Away or 24-Hour Bullshit was. Like, I couldn't distinguish the parts as much, which is a little too bad, because when I could like pick individual parts out, they sounded really cool. So would have liked some of the stuff to be a higher register, but other than that, yeah, good song. Lots of just really cool subtle stuff in the mix when you pause enough to listen to it.
Of course, I also wonder if listening on a different system would affect that as well.
Like, I mean, it could have. It could just be that tiny CD player.
Yeah. What do you think, Kyle?
I don't know, I'm just thinking in my head, like, I guess a lot of these songs are a little vocal repetitive, and I was just now noticing that on this, but...
I notice that a lot when I'm sitting down to listen to an album on the podcast, because a lot of times it's like I'm driving or working on the house or something, so you're not sitting there listening to it the entire time, and so sometimes when you sit down and actually focus on it, like I noticed we said that with the Soundgarden, it's like, well, this is a lot more repetitive than a lot of us remembered. And yeah, I'm guessing you kind of experienced that on this one.
When I take a drink every time he says 24-hour bullshit, drink.
Well, we're not there yet. I kind of felt that when I saw The Room in theaters, that was the first time where I had to like sit and focus on the movie, because it's a movie theater, so it's not
you can't take your phone out.
Yeah, and you can't like talk to people and people in the crowd made fun of it.
It's The Room.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember me and Dana were just both like, wow, this feels entirely different when you're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
24-hour bullshit. This one I thought was more industrial than thrash during the verses, but then during the chorus it was a lot thrashier. Fast start and stop riffs. And like I said, I think this is kind of an anti rat race, consumerist kind of song.
Yeah.
So, when I was working at a 24-hour gas station, of course, the line 24-hour bullshit stuck out in my head quite a bit.
Yeah, this one, I liked this one quite a bit. I liked the use of the samples, and I liked the way the samples were used. Kind of reminded me a lot of like Ministry or the Butthole Surfers, just like where they would like fragment the words and all that, and like put the echo on it and all that. That was pretty cool. I liked kind of doing the industrial verses and then kind of like the punk / thrash. Did I get that right? The verses industrial, and then the chorus being like punky or thrashy, or just doing right. I thought I said it backwards for a second and had to stop myself. But what I meant was what I said.
Meant what I said what I meant.
Yep. Yeah, I liked how much it changed up, and just like how weird and inventive it was. It was a good ADHD song.
I agree.
Yeah. But also, I didn't mind the vocal repetitiveness, especially for this one, because it's 24-hour bullshit. It's always just happening and happening and happening.
Definitely
it doesn't
fits with
stop.
the theme. Yeah.
The samples were good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a sample nerd, so.
Samples are a lot of fun. It's too bad that we have a copyright system that's very unfriendly to them, because I think it stifles creativity. And honestly, I think samples are good for spreading culture anyway. I mean, like, in a later song we'll talk about in a little bit, there was a sample that we like looked up to see what movie it was from, and that now we want to watch that movie. Yep. And it's like we wouldn't have thought of that if they didn't sample that. But I'm sure he got that cleared with some company or some shit. But like, it's really annoying if you're not a famous musician and can't secure the rights to that kind of stuff, and it's big and stupid.
Yeah, we use like one from Nightmare on Elm Street for one of our songs, and I think it's been demonetized on Spotify or some shit.
Did we ever get in any kind of trouble for that Lucid Fugue song where we sampled the Windows noise and sampled the that Don't Copy That Floppy educational EP?
No,
educational
I
video?
don't think we're on anybody's radar. I think that's one of those things, like, you can get away with it for a long time, but if you ever start making money while doing it, then I think companies will start messing with you, or like you said, they'll just demonetize it.
We can't use it on like Instagram or any of that shit.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I know I sampled a few things on my album, and what I did is I warped them so it can't really get caught by a system like that.
There you go.
All right, next song, probably my favorite on this side, Gorillaz. Had a very industrial intro, and then it was thrashy until it had like a brief interlude that just like stopped, played a sample for a second, and then it just picks up where it left off. I thought it was very well done.
I like the E-drum sound, especially at the beginning when they kind of cut everything else out for the hits.
Yeah.
Like the fills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite part too.
That was really cool. It was kind of dancey.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like you can follow it and dance to it. This, my note for it is, this sounds like the kind of music that guys I know who equally like Municipal Waste and Gary Newman listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that as the song ended, and I'm like, those are two very different artists, but you're not wrong.
Yeah. And yeah, this one also is one of the ones that kind of like the danciness to it too was one of those ones where it's like, this could have gone on longer if they wanted it to. They could have looped that a little longer and just kind of let it go.
I could definitely see that.
They should do like a club mix for this where they just loop it for like 12 minutes. And, yeah.
The Tom part almost kind of gave me like Supernaut vibes.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
this would be good music for like the Blood Rave from the first Blade.
Now, theme-wise, it's pretty obvious what this is about. Probably why they picked the cover art that they picked.
I did recently rewatch the first Blade for the first time in like decades, and still pretty cool.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It has Chris Christopherson in it.
Nice. Okay, next song, Blind and Lost, a crossover thrash song, pretty straightforward. I think that's about, like, conformity overall.
It was a good mosher. I like the distorted bass sound, especially when it was a little bit of a breakdown and the other instruments would cut out. Sounded really cool.
What do you think, Kyle?
I was spacing off there. What'd you say?
Blind and Lost. Good mosher. Good one to throw elbows to.
Oh yeah. I concur. That one was rather short, wasn't it?
Yeah, that one was really short.
Yeah, that's definitely the crossover thrash tune. Let's see, that one was 1:54.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't critique a 1:54 song. It served its purpose.
It was a bit of an energy pickup after kind of a weirder, dancier song too. I thought, like, where it sat on the album, I think was a good way to, okay, here's a normal song to mosh to for all you fuckers type of thing.
Yeah, probably the most straightforward metal song on the album. And then it leads into, I think, the most industrial song on the album, probably my second favorite on this side, Some of Your Achievements. It had like a really atmospheric intro, and then it became like this slow, doomy industrial song. And I think it had lyrics about humans should be ashamed of the nuclear bomb being one of their achievements.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
And, like, the industrial elements really came out, like, to the point where they were more prominent than the thrash elements, so it did remind me a lot of, like, the industrial music that I listen to that is either non-metal or metal adjacent, so it was, like listening to it, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm thinking about Throbbing Gristle and Killing Joke and some of the more aggressive Cabaret Voltaire type stuff, too, so, like, I could hear those elements in it a little more. It was still definitely a metal song, but it reminded me of the wide scope of industrial music that existed too, which I did like. It's good to see industrial metal that reminds me of other industrial music.
That's one thing that I always thought was interesting about industrial metal is it rarely reminds me of like just regular old industrial or industrial rock or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes I really don't like that.
Yeah, I would like to hear where they connect more. You do hear it 9 Inch Nails, though. 9 Inch Nails definitely ties into those other bands, industrial bands that I mentioned. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and then move on to your favorite song, Kyle. We got Cockroaches, a thrashy song that you said kind of reminded you more of Fudge Tunnel than Sepultura.
Yeah, definitely more of an Alex Newport song, I think.
And I could tell, like, vibe-wise, it was still heavy, but I could tell when it was an Alex riff and then when it was a Max riff.
Right.
Yeah.
Two very distinct styles that mesh, really well. And I can, like, when you go over to like the thrashy side with Cavalier, you can definitely tell. And then, all of a sudden you can hear like the Melvin influence from the Alex Newport side. And like I said, the lyrics I loved. Working at Microsoft just made me hate my life and made me hate the people I was around. So I'd pop in the AirPods and just listen to this song on repeat and just be like, oh, my coworkers are cockroaches.
I did look up the lyrics when you pointed out how much you loved them, and they reminded me a lot of, I'm going to look at the screen real quick over here, like the You Think God's Sent You part did kind of make me latch onto that a little bit and make me think, oh, is this about the kind of people who like do missionary work and like condition aid on people getting sober and that type of stuff? Nothing in the song that really indicates that it could be that. It could just be that you think that God sent you thing, but it made me think of that, which made me think
it's up to interpretation.
Yeah. Which made me think a little bit of the song Not Anymore by the Dead Boys, which is about being turned away from a shelter type of thing. So that was cool. Like I liked the song. I liked the lyrics. It gave me a lot to think about and sent me on a little bit of a tangent trying to interpret them, so which is
nice.
Always fun.
those are some of the best songs, the ones that make you really think about it. And I think it's interesting when different people have different interpretations, even if it's different from like the artist. And I think that's kind of the mark of a good song sometimes. If you can't really figure it out.
Even if I Sleep on the Street also made me think of that. So,
yeah.
Or even if I have to sleep on the street. So yeah.
Don't need sympathy. Smile. It's nothing but teeth. I'll keep my integrity, even if I have to sleep on the street. A poetic reading by Steve Smith.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, that was side one. We'll move on to side B here. We got For Fuck's Sake.
For fuck's sake.
World of Shit. Exploitation, which is a Doom cover. Religious Cancer. Shit Pinata.
Is the pinata made of shit, or is there shit inside of it?
I'm
Very
envisioning
important
shit
question.
inside the pinata.
That's worse. That's the worst option.
And then, well, it's an extreme metal album, so it would be the worst option.
Fair, yeah.
And then Sick Life. And I think we'll take a look at the two bonus tracks as well. While You Sleep, I Destroy Your World, and Zero Tolerance. But we'll save the live tracks that were pulled from the live album for a possible future episode. So, this one's got more guest appearances. On the first side, you had like Igor Cavalera and Andres Kisser and Dino Cazares. This one has Andreas Kisser on two of the songs, and then it also features Igor on drums on more of them than not, it looks like. So, all right, let's get this one started. All right, and we are back from side B of NAILBOMB Point Blank. What'd you guys think?
It was good. It was a little more. This one felt a little more experimental, like a little more adventurous. Like they were like, okay, we've done the more straightforward side, and now we're just gonna play around some. And I thought that it really paid off.
Yeah. Stepped up the energy a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There were a lot of, like, as you say, cool moments where they kind of played around and experimented, and it definitely made some really fucking cool songs as a result. We'll talk a bit about the album proper first, because there were two bonus tracks, but I thought the song "Sick Life" was probably the best way to end the album. Like the other two songs tacked on were a nice coda. I'm glad they included them. But where they ended with "Sick Life," I thought was perfect.
Yeah.
We got spared from the obnoxious 10-minute after 10 minutes of silence bonus track, and I don't know if that's at the end of the live songs on this one or not, but I'm guessing we didn't miss out on much there.
You usually don't. Most of the time, those really suck.
Unless you're Def Leppard, then it's the best part of the album.
Yeah. Because it's the only good part.
Yeah. All right, so opening song, For Fuck's Sake, had a slow, dark, atmospheric intro, and then it switched between industrial and thrash. And then at the end, I felt like the thrash and industrial elements kind of combined together, so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, like a lot of like building it up. Yeah, like that, like the drone intro. And I liked how it would go back from the thrash too. You know, like the samples and the whispers and the weird industrial stuff before going back and then combining them all. Because sometimes with this kind of thing, it's like you do the band does the experimental stuff for a while, and then they just will. Then the rest of the song is a metal song. I like the way this one just kept jumping back and forth. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it worked really well. Lyrically, I think this one is just kind of I'm an introvert, get away from me, I'm sick of everyone, fuck everyone. You know, that's kind of the vibe of it. I mean, for fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake.
This is probably a good one to listen to at the end of a work day after people have been really fucking annoying.
Just want to go home and take off my belt, God damn it.
Yeah. Next one, World of Shit. That one had like a sample where it kept saying, hate is reality, like during the intro and the chorus.
Yeah.
I think this one is, it might go to show you that, like, the people in the MAGA movement have always been around, because that's kind of what the lyrics were about. Is those,
Some
those kind
things
of people.
never change, Steve.
Yeah, even back in 1994, Max was seeing this kind of stuff, or Max and or Alex.
I mean, there's what, Rush Limbaugh was at the height of his power at that time. So yeah, like those type of people are definitely still around.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then musically, it had kind of a noisy guitar solo, which I thought was cool, and some really cool synth sounds during the break.
Yeah, it might be a candidate for my second favorite on the album, I think.
It was a candidate for my second favorite, too. I think in the end I decided a different one was my second favorite, but so this would be my third. But yeah, this one was really cool. I liked it a lot. I liked the growl the bass had. I liked the...
A lot more distortion on the bass on the second half of the album.
Yeah. The bass, yeah, the bass isn't there as like holding down the low end anymore. It's more like as a distorted instrument to really like stand out in certain moments, which I thought was cool. And I liked the I just liked the structure of it, and just like this one was an example of what I said as how this side felt more playful. This was a really playful song, just in terms of like figuring out dynamics and structure and all that, and like, hey, if we're gonna be using all these samplers and the like, let's just really, and synths, let's just play with them and see what we can do to fill the space or to leave the space a little more spare when it fits the song. And this one was great.
Yeah. Next one is a cover of the band Doom, which none of us have ever heard of, but it was a British like hardcore band called Exploitation. The lyrics on this one were literally unintelligible. We went to go look them up, and it for each one it said like verse 1, verse 2, and it just said unintelligible on it. And I think you guys found lyrics, but I think they were for the original song, but it sounds like Max was just making shit up as he was going along. I couldn't pick out what he was saying.
Animals murdered in pointless tests, torturing nature's defenseless creatures is all I got. And it's not even close to long enough for the song.
Yeah.
The intro to this one was really funny because they dragged some guy that was just like a janitor for the studio in, and you could hear the first track on the album playing in the background, and it was just the guy, and it was a Scottish janitor just complaining about it, and I'll read what he said here because it's really fucking funny. He was going, oh my god, you've got to be joking. What is this, for the toilet? This is WC music. I could lose my eardrums listening to this. Who the hell dreamt this load of nonsense up? I mean, pull the chain on this one. Do people listen to this and they enjoy it? They gotta be bloody well joking.
He's talking about all of our bands ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's funny they just put it on the album. That's great. I love it.
But yeah, this one, I don't know the original to compare it to, but it did kind of stand out. It did feel a little different from everything else around it. So it did feel kind of like a cover.
Yeah.
Where it was on the album and what it was, like, it, not as a knock against it, it just felt a little different.
Yeah. A little more up-tempo, too.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, Religious Cancer. This one is pretty obvious what this one's about.
I think this one ended up being my second favorite.
Yeah, this one was good.
Yeah, I really like this one. It had a really cool industrial groove. I like the gate drum machine sound, and the bass playing I thought on this one really stood out.
As a bass player, me too. And the lyrics, I don't know if you know this about me, Steve, but I'm not the biggest fan of organized religion.
Neither am I, so yeah.
I liked the way they used the samples with the lyrics too, though, just to kind of play off of each other, to kind of like the irony of playing the TV preachers. A thing I did like about the bass too is I liked like the little in between beats little like slide thing.
The slides, the slides were cool.
But yeah, the use of the Preacher samples reminded me a lot of some albums I like My Life in the Bushes of Ghosts by Brian Eno and David Byrne, where there are no lyrics in the whole album, and they just grabbed a bunch of weird TV preachers and made loops with them, and then brought in a bunch of their friends that they worked with at the Talking Heads expanded lineup tour, and just made these weird, dark, ironic songs where they had like a dance loop playing behind a sample of an exorcism being performed and that type of stuff.
I'll give a shout out to a friend of the pod, Adam, the guy who was on the Elf and the Iced Earth episode. He used to have a band called Bullets for Baby, and they had like this like kind of psychedelic-ish song that introduced the album, and they found like a preacher that was like talking about the effects of LSD, but he almost sounded like euphoric, like he was for it. I don't think he was, but it sounded that way.
Oh, he definitely wasn't. But they get in an ecstatic, kind of altered state when they're delivering a sermon a lot of the time.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's not that different from drugs in a way. In fact, like a lot of like traditional religions will, like people will enter like a mystic trance by using drugs. They'll also do it by like starving themselves. So it's very similar. It does a similar thing to the brain, which is just something that's noteworthy.
Yeah. Last thing I have to say about Religious Cancer is during the bridge, the guitar had a really cool like panning effect on it. It was a nice detail, I thought.
Yeah, and this was another one to dance to. I would like a 12-minute long dance mix to put on at the Blood Rave from Blade.
Next one, Shit Pinata.
This one was fun. It was a minute long.
Yeah.
Not much to say.
Minute long, giant wall of sound.
Yeah,
cannon drums.
It was all noise. Like there was no thrash, there was no punk, there was no industrial even really. It was just wall of noise. Yeah, it was fun. Like,
very appropriate title.
Yeah, well constructed, and it was only a minute long, so it didn't waste your time.
Yeah,
it wasn't like the worst Black Sabbath song, the one I'm talking about.
FX,
yeah. Yep. It was a shit pinata. It was good.
And I think during the song, you posed the question, is the pinata made of shit, or is the shit inside of it? And I said the shit was inside of it, and you said that was the worst way.
Yeah, because then you hit it, and the shit just sprays all over everything as it's swinging.
And I think since it's an extreme metal album, you'd want to go for the worst way, so...
That's true, yeah.
That's definitely inside the pinata. The last one, Sick Life, I thought was a very Sepultura-sounding song. I think it's about like drugs and depression, about being addicted to drugs and withdrawing from people.
Isolating yourself from your friends because you're making antisocial choices while dealing with addiction. Yeah, that's the impression I got. This is also...
I feel attacked.
Yeah.
Very similar themes to the Jerry Cantrell album we recently listened to, I thought.
Yeah. This one felt like a side one song to me to some degree too. I mean, it was a good closer, but it was more of a straightforward thrash song. It was less experimental or dancey than like the rest of this side, which is fine. Like, I think it's kind of good to wrap things up by going back to the more typical sound of the band too. But yeah, this was just a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think. Yeah, it was definitely a good way to end the album by coming around to the kind of the beginning of the album. Kind of had a similar vibe to the opener, and on the original copy, this would have been the closer. As I said before, we got spared from the annoying bonus track, but yeah, let's talk about the two bonus tracks. I can tell they had like a lower production quality.
Mm-hmm. Oh, much lower.
Yeah. I kind of checked out a little bit.
I thought While You Sleep, I Destroy Your World, like it started with just this guy breathing into the phone and like fucking with somebody.
Like a pervert.
Yeah. And it's funny because we see that shit all the time on YouTube now. So, I don't know, it almost felt like a link to the modern world. And all throughout the song, there were just like samples of weird phone calls. But otherwise, it had some pretty groovy drums, some cool industrial sounds, and you pointed out kind of a jazzy breakdown.
Yeah, well, not just the breakdown, just kind of like the drums, and then like the synth part with it. It was kind of like had like a jazzy swing type thing to it, which was a nice like way to ground it all too.
Yeah.
This one was a dancey one. Like if they would have like polished it up and put it on the album, it would have fit a lot on, I think, like the side 2.
Yeah. And then the second bonus track, Zero Tolerance, I thought was the better of the 2 bonus tracks. Obviously about Nazis. Looking at the lyrics, it had a dark atmospheric intro, and I really liked the buzzsaw sounding industrial like synth on it. I thought that was a good hook. Like my brain kept like hitting on that one. Just like the other one, a lower production value, and then it had like a cool atmospheric delay break. And like I said, I'm glad these are here for you to listen to. But the album really ended with Sick Life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a perfect swan song for the album, so that's kind of why I was like checking out during the other ones, especially with the drop in quality too.
Yeah.
Kind of takes you out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is the only album they put out, so swan song for the band, really.
Yeah.
Or studio album, but yeah. Yeah, it was a good album. It was. I like it when I can hear an album that is definitely of its time, but it's not in a bad way.
Right.
Because it's just a way to be like, oh yeah, this is something that happened.
It's very 90s.
Yeah. Something that happened and something that kind of moved past. What if we started to reclaim some of these elements? What if we started to see how we could use this particular tool set again? Yeah. So that was really cool to hear.
I think of like all the bands, at least metal bands, that only released one album and then just kind of fucked off. This is probably the best, if not one of the definitely top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max later in life has joined like other super groups. Like I actually do like the 2 Killer Be Killed albums, and I didn't think I would because I don't like Dillinger Escape Plan, but he got their vocalist as the second vocalist, and I actually do like
not
his
into math metal.
I don't know. I even saw him live one time, and I just couldn't get into him.
They're not for everybody.
Yeah. And I wonder if I would feel different now. Like, it's been like 15 years, but...
I think your tolerance for math rock has gotten better in the last 15 years, so who knows?
Yeah, maybe I should try again sometime. Yeah. But I think out of all the Max side projects, and there's many, this is probably the most noteworthy one.
Mm-hmm. And the cover, like, the cover's just so perfect. Like, the music sounds like the fucking cover.
Yeah, it does. And then just starting a side project because they wanted to do stuff that reminded them of different bands is such a cool way to do something like this and just give yourself a whole lot of energy to try new things and to... Just like the pure ambition of this was amazing, and how they pulled it off, pretty much with every song. So
and it's cool that it was just it wasn't a serious or it wasn't a serious project at first, and they were just doing it for fun, and they ended up developing a bunch of really cool songs. I know Max plays a lot of them with Soulfly still. And that's something I've always really liked about Max is he likes working with different musicians of like all different genres. I mean, he even had Sean Lennon on an album of his, like on a heavy song.
Yeah.
There's even like in the song that he was in, you can hear Sean Lennon at the end being like, "Oh my God, the strings are so thick," because he was playing Max's guitar, and of course he's got this down-tuned guitar with giant strings on it. And
yeah. And then like even the songs that were like the "This Is a Side Project," a jokey joke song like "Shit Pinata," they were still good. It was a good example of the kind of song you can do by just like blasting a wall of noise. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish this project got more of the praise, like his other projects did. I feel like NAILBOMB's definitely a little more unknown as far as either of the projects, really.
Yeah. Well, like Soulfly is obviously as popular, if not more popular, than Sepultura was.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah. Cavalera Conspiracy, the one where he got back with his brother, was interesting, but I wouldn't call it a very consistent side project because they changed the sound on like every album. Like, you know, the first one sounded more like modern metal for the time, and then I think like the third one actually had this like really cool extreme metal quality. But yeah, that was NAILBOMB.
Nice. Kyle, do you want to plug your pluggables?
Yeah. Got a show coming up in Lincoln, Thursday, 1867. If you're in the Lincoln area, come check us out. WeavingShadows.com.
This Thursday?
This Thursday, the 22nd.
This probably won't air for a month, so.
Oh, well, fuck it. Then come see us July 15th at the Reverb Lounge with Profanatica, great black metal band on Season of Mist record label.
Nice.
WeavingShadows.com, Weaving Shadows Bandcamp, Spotify, all that shit.
And some of the best t-shirt design out of any band, local band, really.
Yeah.
Even beyond local band. But yeah, like I like that cream-colored one with the... with like the Skeksis type guy on it with the that one's really cool.
All the stuff's high quality too. We get it from Method Inc. in Des Moines, so there's their free plug.
Nice.
So really high quality shirts if you are looking to get some merch made.
Yeah, I listened to a bunch of your songs recently, and I thought they were all very well produced, and they sound great. So
thank you.
If
our guitarist Eric, and we're getting ready to do the actual studio. Everything we do now is in my fucking basement. So hopefully the quality will be even better for the album coming out at the end of the year.
Nice.
We'll see.
Yeah, if you like NAILBOMB, you'd probably like Kyle's band. If you like NAILBOMB, you'd probably like my old band Megaton.
I like Megaton.
Well, thank you. I liked Megaton too. Rest in peace.
All right.
I have a new EP out called Tyranny of the Clock. You can check that out on all major streaming platforms. Dave's on it a lot. And I think that's it.
Yep, catch you on the flip side.
Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve is a Floof Goof Studios production. You could find us on Instagram at KillRockMusicSWS and Dave_Diction. You can find us on Bluesky at KillRockMusic and Beastmaster General. Check out our musical projects, The Alliterates and Lucid Fugue, on all major streaming platforms, and links to each at my website, killrockmusic.com. That's KILRAVOCK music.com. This also includes my past projects, Megaton and Valley of Shadows, and my current solo project, Kill Rock. You can also find Dave's past project, Gong Farmer, at GONGFERMOUR.bandcamp.com. Thanks.
Everyone we worked with is dead.
Really ripped.
Yeah.
I need to change my pants.
Check. Check. Leonard Bernstein. I hate it so much I skipped the whole Destroyer.
Allow me to play you out.
Dirty Dave just pooped his pants.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Perfect hooker murdering song.
Kick out the jail, motherfucker! Are you ready?
Steve's got some cheese.
Get my podcast voice ready to go.
Jaw Wobble. What a name.
I'm Ivan Moody, and I'm having a psychotic break. Testicules. That is a fun fact.
There's a jazz hole.
What do you mean the song is called Sweet Pea?
Now that we're done with Steve's Rorschach test, let's talk about the album.
For fuck's sake.